You are watching Macro TV, and in this session, we are going to be looking at uh, the Solow growth model, which is in study unit 4, chapter 8 in Freenberger. And we are basically looking at growth in the long run. We have looked at growth a little bit within our ASAD model, but we want to expand that now and focus particularly on growth and not also consider all these other variables within the economy. Now, it is important when we do anything on growth that you consider why is it that we care about growth? Why do we care about how much is being produced in a country? Now, the reasons we want to improve growth is because with growth, there's an increased ability for the nation to develop, to reduce poverty, and to increase the standard of living of people within the country. So the idea is that economic growth is a means towards these various ends. As I said in our ASAD model, you already looked a little bit at growth, right? So you saw the long run growth through your aggregate supply and the long run curve, or your structural income level. And what we want to do with this model is figure out ways to make sure that that structural level of income can continually shift to the right so that we have long run growth into the future and increased growth into the future. So next up, we're going to look at what are the determinants of production. And when we think about that, it's important to note that growth models in generally are supply side models. We're considering and we're looking in the long run, how is it that companies produce on an aggregate level in the country? So in other words, aggregate production will be dependent on the following things. It will be dependent on the amount of labor that is available within the country. It will be dependent on the amount of capital that is available in the country. Then it will also be dependent on the productivity level. How productive is labor within the country and the various institutions that could increase that productivity and that productive potential. Now, this could be all kinds of things like managerial styles and innovations within management. It could be organizational, so like new layouts for factories that are more efficient than we thought in the past, things we've done in the past. It could also be dependent on technology. Improved technology increases the productivity level of your labor. Then also human capital. So human capital is the skills and the education that your workforce has. And this human capital increases the productivity of individuals. So, for example, you studying this degree should hopefully build up your human capital to make you as a laborer more efficient and increase growth. All of this can be illustrated by the total production curve, and that we're going to do in the next video. What we did in this video is that we just quickly looked at economic growth. Why do we want to have economic growth? And what are the various determinants of economic growth? Stay tuned.